There were 4 of these little clips up top for the Honda Civic 2004 value package, and there were 12 of these guys down below, 12 of them. Plus there were one of these on each side, so 2 more below, plus 2 of these guys over by the wheel well. This was an 8mm, okay? Used a socket 8mm to get out those guys, and then I used a Phillips to get out these guys, and then I used a flathead screwdriver to pop out all of these little guys on both the upper and the lower. And you got to use a little one first to get in there because it's really thin on the end, and then you can use a bigger one to pop it more, and then you use a needle nose pliers to pull it out the rest of the way. And some of them are busted, so you can get off Amazon like a little safety, like a pack of them for like 10 or 12 bucks to replace all the ones that you busted, because they're all like, some of them get ripped up as you're taking them out. $10mm socket right here to take out the battery. First take off the negative terminal, then the positive, then take off this, and the battery will pull right out. So lift this out, then lift out this little thing that the battery sits in, and then you're going to drain the fluid next. You get this canister thing at Walmart for like 10 bucks. You can use it for your oil too. And right underneath here is the petcock. Just don't, just go slow and it'll drain right out there. Hit this thing and drain right into here. There's actually antifreeze in the bottom of my little battery pan here. Smells sweet. Some of these bolts are like really crazy on here. This is a 10mm to get off this little overflow thing here. So take some of that like that lubricant that like breaks stuff free, and I'm gonna just douse a bunch on that before I try to get that thing off. Obviously, if you just got done running your car, don't do this because your radiator fluid will be really hot. But if you're good like me, you'll line it up so it goes right into the hole, baby. Check that out. Smooth. You guys can just see down here, there's fluid in there. It's all wet. Wet there, wet there. It's been leaking. This car is 20 years old almost, 2004. I used a pliers to get the petcock started, and then I twisted the rest of the way by hand. You're gonna loosen up the radiator cap, guys. That's gonna make it drain faster. You can see it right through there, so air is coming in through the top, so that liquid can come faster out the bottom there. And while you're doing that, then you come up here, and you use a 10mm bolt, take out that guy right there. Okay, 10mm bolt right there from the grounding strap, which is this blue thing right here. It connects right there. Then more penetrating oil on these bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can get the fans out, okay? I'm gonna let that sit for a second, then be hitting all those. Then take off this hose right here. Pay attention to the direction that the clamp is going so I can fit it back in the same grooves, and use a pliers on that and kind of work that out. Okay guys, 10mm right there to take off that little bracket. Same thing here on the other side. And this is what it looks like. I had to hit it with a bunch of that anti-seize stuff there to get it off. Just go slow and steady, but there's one on each side. There. And there. Now I'm going to remove the reservoir here that it's fully drained. There's actually still fluid in here. I don't know why all the fluid didn't come out, so this is going to be a bit tricky. Should I keep it upside down, take off that little piece on the end, then dump the rest of the fluid down there into my container. There's a little wire thing here on the end. Get that guy off there and pull off that hose. Okay, we got the hose off, but that little wire was so brittle it just snapped. So we're gonna go get like a clamp from the home store to put it back on there. Being careful when you take it off that you don't snap this little nipple there. Gonna drain the rest of that. Then take out the 10mm bolts for the fan, which are here and there, and then take off that hose. Okay folks, the idea is that you take out both these fans and then you loosen up the bolts on this on the evaporator here, which is like for your AC, and then you slip the fans out the back and then you pull out the radiator, but it's just super tight. So I had to take off the three 10mm bolts, 2 on this side, 1 on this side. That's them right there. So that I can tilt this thing up now, kind of get this thing out of the way, so that I can pull out the radiator. I'm going to kind of tilt it forward and leave this back fan in there and then pull it up and out, because I have to clear, you can see it down there, but there's little things sticking out, like this thing on the left that's got a circle in it, and then there's like a nipple right to the right of that. You got to clear that stuff, and you got to be careful with this thing, because you got a connection point right back there with like a solid line, so you don't want to bust that. So right now it's just kind of hanging here, but I got it supported right here on that edge, but you got to be careful here. You can't just jack the stuff around. So now I should be able to pull out the radiator and leave in this fan. The old one, this thing is like 18 years old. Okay folks, this radiator is supposed to be for an automatic or a manual. I have a manual, and this is for the automatic like transmission fluid or something to run through here, but I didn't have that. So my old radiator doesn't have this port or this port. So I just took a wrench and just took these little 2 pieces off so that I can have a little more clearance in getting this thing in and out, and these will go right into the trash.